So welcome back. This was the thing which we had seen in our previous presentation, right? A mono-shot operation or one-shot operation, which is used basically in order to generate a trigger output of the duration of one cycle or one scan time of your PLC. That's what we have seen in our previous presentation, right? So this example I had already explained how you will get that when the trigger input is continuous, how you are going to get constrained trigger output which appears for a short period of time as decided by the programming cycle of the PLC. And the same thing is represented with the help of this kind of a diagram, right? Trigger input, then your trigger output happens to be M101 with an instruction PLS, right? So I think this also we have seen in the previous presentation, wherein we will be having only two instructions here, right? So one is LD X400, LD X400 followed by your PLS, pulse, PLS M101. In this example we have taken it as M101. So with these two instructions it is possible for us to realize the operation of this kind which we have seen in the previous case, right? So this is another way of making use of your internal relays to generate a pulse of a specific duration as decided by the operating cycle of the PLC or the scan time of the PLC. Now let us move on to one more important aspect which is referred to as set reset coils. So in many of your operations, industrial process control or industrial operations, it is necessary to set the things and reset the things with the help of the internal relays. Of course, you will be able to set or reset any specific operation by virtue of your input switches also, which we have already seen. But if you are able to structurize the setting and resetting a particular operation with the help of the internal relay coils, then that would be more meaningful and that would add so many other advantages as long as the operation of the system is concerned using the PLC. Now if you look at the two diagrams here, the first one input, then you have got a coil which is written as S here. As you can see, you have got one more coil and input where this coil is written as R, that indicates the reset, set and reset. Now after having seen the timing diagrams here, so it is too simple to understand what exactly is going to happen there, right? Once the input appears, right, and you can see here whether the input gets discontinued here and once again it appears, that doesn't really matter to keep the coil in the set status forever. As long as you have got the input, this is going to be set. The moment you get the input here, the coil is going to get set here and it will remain in the set condition. If at all you want to make the reset operation, definitely you will have to make use of one more coil. Now you can see here in the second case, when your input is present, the moment input is present, the coil which was previously set, now that is going to get reset and it will remain reset similar to how this coil was set until you once again set or reset in whatever initial position it is. So this is what is the meaning of set and reset coil. And now if you look at the Mitsubishi configuration, right, as you can see here, if you look at the Mitsubishi configuration, we will have the nomenclature of this set and reset as per again your IEC 1131-3 based on that particular standard, right? So you will represent the thing something like this. Again, it is basically our what we have studied long back as the flip-flops. Okay, basically the flip-flop operation takes place here. Okay, so now see here, if you look at this diagram, first one is the set coil. Of course, the input, it does not require any explanation. So now please try to have the syntax or the structure of these things. Set coil, which is Y430, and its representation is something like this. You have a coil something like this, wherein Y430 is the name of that coil, followed by S here, that represents that indicates that it is a set coil, and accordingly you can see the output. The output is here. So when your X400 here in this case, right, is appearing as the input, that moment your output, that is Y430, appears, right? So the same diagram is used for representing both the cases of setting and resetting, and the only difference, as long as resetting is concerned, you have got R here. Now when your input X401 occurs somewhere, right, so your output becomes 0. Now this gives you a very important conclusion here, right? The instance where you put your set coil or the input 400, that way we can take, this is your X400, that input occurs here, so, and you have one input, that is X401, that occurs here, and between these two inputs you get a kind of output, right? So now probably the same analogy you can have by virtue of this kind of diagram. So you should be able to understand or recall what I mean here. The normally closed switch, something like this. So this is my X400 and this is my X401. So this is, say, Y430. Does it not resemble the same operation here? The moment you turn on X400, your output will be on. The moment you turn on X401, your output will be off. So that means the turning on of these two switches will decide for how long your output will be on. So that requires two separate switches here, X400 and X401, that requires some other operation, but the same thing we are doing with the help of a coil here. That means the inputs X400 and X401 we are using here to actuate a coil here. So Y430, that is not the output, it is the coil, and this particular phenomena which is taking place here, that can be subsequently used for some other purpose. That is what is the significance of your internal relays. They are capable of being switched on or switched off based on some operation. That some operation is here input X400 and input X401, and why they are being turned on and turned off, that is decided by some other part which is there in your subsequent rungs in the ladder diagram. When we take up a particular example, so probably you should be able to get convinced with this. Okay, so this is about the set and reset coil, and we need to have the instructions for this. Let me write the instructions. We have LD X400 The first case LDX400. Very importantly, now here SY430. LDX400, understandable. S, that means you are setting the coil with the address Y430. This is for the first case. Again for the second case, I will write LDX401, then RY430. So you are resetting it, and accordingly you are going to get the output of this kind here: LDX400, SY430, LDX401, RY430. Now, based on this, a specific application which you want to realize, maybe a small application. So by this time, whatever we have discussed, right? So that should take you to design a small system using a variety of operations. Not necessary that you should follow a specific sequence of steps, because now we have got the variabilities, right? So this way also it can be done, the other way also it can be done. Sometimes you may have more rungs also coming into picture in the ladder, that way also it can be done. And ultimately, which is the optimum design, that matters, right? With minimum number of rungs or minimum number of elements, right? If you are able to realize a particular operation, of course by making use of whatever the auxiliary devices that you have, for example your internal relays, or you may be having your retentive coils, or you may be having your set and reset coils, whatever it is, right? So like that you may have few more things subsequently when we go to our next presentations and all. When all these things are discussed, finally when you want to have a system designed, it should be an optimum system with minimum number of instructions, which should take care of the exact problem statement which is to be delivered, right? So like that we will have to look into some of the operations as long as the PLC applications are concerned, right? So there are the different other kind of service providers like your Allen Bradley, Telemechanics, Siemens and all. They have got different configurations or different nomenclature to define this kind of operations like set, reset coil and all. Since we have to stick on to the architecture of the Mitsubishi, we will be looking into only the Mitsubishi configuration here, right? So with this, let us look into one small example. So these examples are very important even from the point of view of examination also, right? So now let me first write the problem statement. I think all of you should be able to take this also. Devise a ladder diagram, please note down, devise a ladder diagram using SR coils, that is set reset coil, to activate the opening of a barrier, using a motor, whenever either, so this is very important, either of the photosensors, one second, either of the photosensors give the output, close the barrier based on the output given by close the barrier based on the output given by a timer switch which operates which operates 5 minutes of the inactivity of either photo switch. So now look at the problem statement. Devise a ladder diagram using SR coils to activate the opening of a barrier using a motor whenever either of the photosensors give the output. Close the barrier based on the output given by a timer switch which operates 5 minutes of the inactivity of either photo switch. So first try to interpret the problem properly. That is very important. If you properly interpret the problem, then writing the codes and other things becomes very simple here as long as this application is concerned. Now understand by this problem, please try to conceptualize it, right? Visualize the problem, right? Again, the same old example which I have given you long back. You have got a path like this, something like that, okay? Then you have, a kind of barrier here. This is the barrier, okay, which is having some counterweight or something like that. I am not going into the technicality of this, right? And again, as we have seen, there is one mechanism here. These are the, one is the sensor and the reflector. So this keeps giving the light, and here also we have the same thing. This kind of example we can take, right? Now togetherly, as we have written earlier also, now this call is a and this has switch 2. These are the photosensors, okay? Now probably whatever I have drawn here, you should be able to link with the problem statement. Devise a ladder diagram using SR coils to activate the opening of the barrier using a motor whenever either of the photosensors give the output. So that means whenever a person or vehicle, something like that comes here, your barrier should get opened, or whenever the person or sensor, vehicle comes from this side, your barrier should get opened, okay? And once the barrier gets opened, it will remain in the opening position. It will go somewhere here to this position, okay? It gets opened. You can understand what I mean by this. Then it will remain there for 5 seconds, okay? That is, you can see, close the barrier based on the output given by the timer switch which operates, 5 minutes, okay? It may be minute, or you may take it as seconds also, doesn't matter, okay? Anyway, it is a problem statement. 5 seconds of inactivity of either of the photo switch, right? So that means when either S1, S2 does not give the next pulse 5 seconds after the previous pulse was given. Photosensors means what? You have this kind of arrangement, okay, it keeps giving the light here. Whenever the light is cut by this, it is going to give you a pulse like this. It could be this kind of, it could be this kind of pulse, okay.
Both the sensors, that means it is S1 plus S2, the number of pulses which are going to be generated. It is not from anyone, because here what is given here is the photo switch. This is very important. If S1 or S2 doesn't give the pulse for 5 seconds, right, then it has to close, right. So this time period is, say, 1 second, this is 5 seconds, this is for 5 seconds, right. If for 5 seconds it doesn't give the, you know, pulses, it is understood that the barrier is. So now for this you will have to devise a ladder diagram using SR coils, set reset coils, right. Now you can take the help of the previous example where we have taken one input which is used to set the, you know, coil. Then we have used one more input that is used to reset the coil within that period, right. So you are going to get the output activated. Output in the sense the very output of the coil itself. But here we will have to separately look into the outputs, because the output is a motor here. You can see here the output is a motor. So in order to activate the motor, you are making use of those indications by your set and reset coils. So how the system would look like here is, you have one switch, say S1, you have another switch, say S2. So this is your S1, this is your S2, because whenever either of these two switches operate, then you have to set the coil. So let us say that I have got, you know, a set coil, that is Y. Let us say that it is how I had taken the value of this set coil, Y430. Okay, so therefore what I will do here is, I will remove this, I will use the same analogy, something like this. Okay, this is SY430. This is for setting the coil. Okay, then you have something to reset. So in order to reset, what action has to happen here? 5 seconds of inactivity of either S1 or S2, which is, you know, measured by a switch, or which is measured by some other mechanism, say timer or something like that, which is used to activate one more switch. Let us say that this is S3, which is used to activate one more switch, S3. Now whether S3 or this S3 you can have as a part of the switch in one more rung, which is your motor. Please look here, Y431 happens to be my motor. So this motor is either rotated in one direction to open the barrier, or you make the counterweight to act on it to close the barrier. So those situations you will have to visualize, and accordingly you will have to write also. That is very, very important, right? Because
some of the things we always take for granted here, right? So now when I say that motor, barrier is the physical thing that which gets opened or which gets closed there in order to make sure that the persons or vehicles are either identified or not identified, right? So that is the physical thing. But from the point of view of PLC, what things we have to bring in here is a motor, or it could be an actuator, right? It could be a relay kind of thing, right? So that has to be from the point of view of PLC, which has to be properly designated here as, say, Y431, because Y430 I am using it for the set coil there. Okay, so now here this you can also write it as a barrier or something like that. Okay, now let us have switch something like this. So this, let me call this as say S4, and this is Y430. This is how I am trying to visualize this. You may have different methods also. Since you have been also asked to use the reset coil, you can use a reset coil also here. So the reset coil may come somewhere here, your timer S4, and this would be your reset coil R Y430, something like this. It may come somewhere here. So this will be your, say, S, this is not S3, this is not S4, this is S3. So this we will take it as S3. So this S3 is the actuation based on your timer output. The S3 is based on the timer output. So that will make your reset coil to operate. Now S430 and RY430 should make your coil here, that is the motor or the barrier, either to turn on or turn off. That time whatever I have written here, it becomes redundant. It is not required if you are using the set coil here and reset coil here, right? So there are different schools of thoughts here in order to write this ladder diagram, but this is a must, S1 and S2 in parallel. Based on that, you are setting coil. Setting of this coil is to activate the, the output, okay, and resetting of this coil will deactivate the output. So please try to see where exactly and how exactly you will deploy the reset coil in this particular example, right? So please write the instructions, please write the diagram, ladder diagram. This ladder diagram may be different from person to person depending upon how you pursue the situation, right? So but the first two switches, S1 and S2, they are must. Whether you bring in S3 or you bring in some other concept here to reset the coil after 5 seconds or whatever it is, right? So that is your individual school of thought. Please try to draw the ladder diagram for this, followed by some instructions. If it is not possible for you to draw the ladder diagram, we will definitely discuss in our Google Classroom. Okay, this is one example which I wanted to give you as long as the set reset coil is concerned. Now let us look into one more simple example wherein we will have what we call it as an alarm. Okay, so we will have to make the alarm to make the sound based on 3 different conditions, and once those conditions are overcome, the alarm has to stop. So this is something like this. I have got one alarm here. Okay, so this alarm should make the sound, okay, when 3 conditions, X1, X2, X3 should hold good. All conditions, any one of these 3 conditions. So therefore, need mention that it has to be ORed here. either x1 or x2 or x3. When any one of these conditions hold good, your alarm should make the sound. Then there will be an operating personnel there who will look into these things. Maybe what I mean by x1 is smoke detector, right? x2 maybe over temperature detector, x3 maybe a fire detector, something like that, right? So whenever any one of these things happen, again they are all sensors. One is a smoke sensor, another is a temperature sensor, the third one is a fire sensor, like that we can take, right? So when any one of the sensors get actuated, you will have to make the alarm to give the sound. But after that, personnel will come who take care of the maintenance and other things. He or she will take care of bringing the condition back to the normalcy. Then he or she will press one more switch which should make your alarm stop. So now this particular situation can be represented or can be written in the form of your set and reset coil in a very simple way. What I will draw here, please look, this is very simple. So you have the first coil or the first sensor, the second sensor S2, the third sensor S3, something like this. Now we'll go to a set and reset coil, something like this. Let me write this S here and I write it as R. This will show you how exactly we should be able to write or use this set coil in the form of a block, something like this. Now here comes your alarm. Here is alarm and this will complete the ladder diagram. Now let us say that this is x1, this is your x2 and this is your x3. When any one of these three conditions hold good, your coil is going to be set there, and once this coil will get a buzzer or the sound in the alarm here, then whenever you have got one more condition, that the clear switch, something like this, that should go to your R. Let me write it as clear switch here. So this clear switch will reset the alarm and accordingly this will stop here, right? So now this particular school of thought you can definitely take in order to draw the ladder diagram and subsequent instructions what we have discussed in the previous example. That this becomes very simple now, right? So now here the barrier or the motor in the previous case and x1 or x2, that's what we have to set the coil, okay, in order to make the barrier to get opened. Then x3 will not come into picture in the previous example because I have taken care of only two switches there, and the third condition happens to be the output from the timer circuit after 5 minutes or 5 seconds of inactivity of either x1 and x2. But how that is taken care of doesn't come under our jurisdiction here, so that has to be properly designed and ultimately it should be represented in the form of a switch only, right? So that switch is connected to the reset part of your the set reset coil, and ultimately that will make your motor to turn off or turn on, whatever it is. Ultimately my requirement is to lift the barrier or bring the barrier back onto the position, right? So there are different mechanisms deployed for that, and accordingly those mechanisms will take care of those things, right? So now a similar approach you can use to solve the previous problem also, and probably this becomes simple. You can make use of a set reset coil also, as I have indicated in the Mitsubishi configuration, and accordingly you can write
the ladder diagram as well as the instructions for the previous problem.
Okay, this is another one. Now this is about the set reset coil, how exactly you make use of the set coil and reset coil in the industrial process control. Now with that background, let us move on to the next aspect, which is referred to as the master control relay, MCR. This is again a very important concept. So we keep looking at the different concepts here. Master control relay, as the name itself indicates, it is also one of the relays which has got the master control. You know what is the meaning of master control, right? So now let us not look into the programming part and other things here. Let us not bother about what is here. Okay. First, we will try to understand what exactly we mean by master control relay. As you can see here, it is used to control a large number of outputs, right? So we have got a sequential process control. You go to the first step, then you go to the second step, right? And the third, fourth, fifth and sixth step, say for example, right? So they are coming under one particular head, right? Whatever you have got in the third rung, whatever you have got in the fourth rung, fifth rung and sixth rung, whatever it may contain multiple inputs, it may contain multiple outputs as per the conventions of the ladder diagram. But at least one input and one output should be there in every rung, as all of you know. Okay. So third, fourth, fifth, sixth, that particular operation is to be controlled by somewhere. It is very similar to the analogy of your MCBs, right? You have got a main MCB in your house, right? When you come inside your house, you may have 5 to 6 small MCBs which will take care of the power supply distribution to the different parts of your house, different sub-circuits in the house, right? Suppose if you want to make any operation or if you want to make any maintenance in a particular room, you need not turn off the mains so that the entire room or entire house is interrupted with the power supply. So selectively you can take off the power supply for a particular part of the house by turning off the MCB of that particular part. Similar to that, if at all you want to have the control over a part of your ladder diagram, that is done with the help of master control relay, as the name itself indicates, right? Whole section of the ladder diagram is turned on or turn off when certain condition is realized. Whole section means whatever is coming under a particular relay. That is what we mean by the whole section, right? So if at all you want to have the control over a part of the section of the industrial process control or a total control, then this is achieved by including the contacts of the same internal relay in each rung. That becomes too many, because every time, suppose if there are 5 rungs, you will have to have 5 contacts in each rung, so that we have to have the control. That's what we have seen in our previous cases, right? But instead of that, you can make use of a master control relay, which one contact will take care of controlling the different parts there. Now, if you look at this example, so probably it is going to convince you, right? Now, I have got an input here, input IN1, then the contacts of MCR, that is the master control relay. I will come here, this is MCR, MC1, master control relay 1. Now, very interestingly, you see the switch has appeared. It is against the principle of ladder diagram, because the switch has come in the power rails, right? The parallel, the power rails. like this, right? So only, sorry, the vertical lines, the parallel lines are rungs wherein you should have your input and output. But as an exception to that, right? So you are having the master control relay contacts in the power rail only, and that is how it is differentiated with respect to the other kind of contacts whatever you have in your PLC operation, right? So now you can see here the contact MC1 has come here, which is like this. Now once the MC1 contact comes here, whatever are the subsequent rungs till you get the master control reset somewhere later, so all whatever we have here, they are under the control of MC1. So now to tell you about that in a precise